The Detroit Red Wings have recalled Erik Gustafsson up from the AHL. You recall he was waived before the season started, but it looks like he may finally hit the ice for the Red Wings. Steve Yzerman has been working the phones. Now he has a chance to meet with the teams that he's been talking to try to make a deal. And the Grand Rapids Griffins had a bounce-back win after suffering their first regulation loss this season. This is your 7-Minute Wings. Welcome back to the Red Wings Report with Strings and Pucks. This is Jeremy Laura. If it's your first time here, please click like and subscribe, share this out. Head over to hockeyhotstove.com where I write the Detroit Red Wings column. You can read my latest write-ups as well as information and news on the other 31 teams in the league. There's a lot to cover today in 7 minutes. A lot of what you're going to be seeing are the highlights from the Griffins' last game. Great come-from-behind win. But first, the Red Wings recall Erik Gustafsson. You remember at the beginning of the season, Gustafsson and Hall were sent down to Grand Rapids. Both cleared, both made it through. I don't think Gustafsson would make it through waivers again if they sent him back down because of what's happening to teams this year. Detroit now has 8D. Simon Edvinsson didn't play in the last game. It said he was sick, something was going on. So this may just be some insurance for the road trip. There's kind of a murmur around Gustafsson, Hamonic, and Jacob Bernard Docker. You've got your rotating 6, 7, 8 defensemen. Detroit needs offense from the defense, so calling up Gustafsson could make a lot of sense from that perspective. But more interestingly, if you look at the scouting reports, things that are sent out on X on a nightly basis, league scouts are going to watch the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Nashville Predators, and the Calgary Flames. A deal between Columbus and Detroit may be hard to come by. The Nashville Predators, however, Detroit's long been interested in Ryan O'Reilly. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the name that Kevin Allen from Detroit Hockey Now has mentioned, and other people are starting to talk about. Nashville has an interesting situation, and Barry Trotz joked about it. The summer before this last summer, he looked like an absolute hero, bringing in Steven Stamkos, but it just hasn't been working. Rumors of Trotz needed to return to the bench, and he's knocked those down fairly quickly. Barry Trotz does not want to return to coaching. But for whatever reason, things in Nashville haven't panned out. If the price is right, I have a feeling you could make something happen. So Yzerman's going to head in there. There's a chance they could be negotiating for O'Reilly. I don't know what that is. I don't want to give up assets and draft picks in that situation, but it is what it is. The team I'm going to be watching is the Calgary Flames, because this team, they have two of the most highly coveted pieces on the trade market, and that's in Rasmus Andersson and Nazem Kadri. The pushback that I get from some of you is age and dollar amount for Kadri, that you've got term left on that deal and it's not going to age well. Anderson, I've not gotten any pushback pretty much from anyone that you wouldn't love to see that player, especially if you had a chance to put him on a line with Edvinsson, where Edvinsson could really start to learn his game from someone more physical, more stable. He'd be an incredibly good fit. He does have a limited no movement clause, so Detroit would have to be free and clear from that. But again, this is a player that I think could fix a lot of issues for the Red Wings. But let me know what you think of those two. And finally, the Griffins. They've been really exciting to watch this year. And that comeback win, the Charlotte Checkers had handed them their first regulation loss of the year. And the next night, Griffins were loading shots on net and couldn't get anything going. Less than 5 minutes left in the game, they tie it up with a greasy goal. Then they head into overtime and win it. The team is incredibly resilient. They're now 12-1-1 to start the season. And I think they put the model of what Detroit needs to do in the NHL. They brought in veterans. I mean, there are multiple NHL players on that team that made it through waivers. But they brought in a guy like John Leonard, who was leading the NHL in goal scoring. They have Amadeus Lombardi, who's up and coming. They have Michael Branzig-Nygaard learning his game. The amount of veterans balancing out the youth and getting solid goaltending. Pastava has been exceptional, but he's out for a while now. He's hurt. Sebastian Kosa seems to be finding that steady game that they need him to find. And Gielander, to his credit, he came up from the ECHL and he's locked it down very well. So let me know, do you enjoy hearing about the Griffins? Or, the team has been a lot of fun to watch, but I don't want to overload you with the AHL stuff. The final note on them, Carter Mazier may be done for the season. They are not giving an update on him. The broadcast booth was talking about him, but apparently Sean Horkoff said no update. And there's rumblings that whatever happened to him, he is now done for this season. So Mazier is going to lose another season where he was almost guaranteed a spot on Detroit. And this is heartbreaking because his career is just, it's another Svechnikov issue where his career seems to be derailed. But let me know what you think on all things. My top pick for a trade, if they brought up Gustafsson because they're going to leave someone in another city while they're on the road, I'd really love to see him come back with Nazem Kadri or Rasmus Andersson. Ryan O'Reilly, I don't know, but the name's out there. And then finally, what do you think of the AHL situation? Are you enjoying these Griffins updates? Let me know your thoughts. I enjoy bringing this to you. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.